Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. I'm once again doing a few passenger missions here in my beluga liner, and I conveniently just managed to avoid that interdiction there. Now, earning money has been a bit of a hot topic lately. In fact, there's been a whole number of hot topics, but more on that a little bit later. Passenger missions then, being hit by a nerf bat a little bit unintentionally it would seem, are now back to being quite well paid. In fact, you can make reasonable money of them in a relatively short amount of time. This one here is 5.5 million credits for a very short 78 light year journey, and you could probably do this in an Asp or something like that. You don't need the larger cabins here, you don't need the larger ships rather. You only need the beluga to carry luxury class passengers, and they're not all that common. With a modified Asp or even perhaps a modified Cobra, you can do these 40 to 50 to sometimes 70 light year journeys very quickly, and you'd be able to earn quite a bit of money in a relatively short amount of time. So passenger missions of course aren't the only good method of making money in Elite, although that said there really aren't that many good methods left. One of them come to light this week, and that was down in 17 Draconis, a system right near the edges of space, very old system that incidentally was the system that was used during the alpha time for Elite Dangerous. Talking of alpha states actually, just look at this. This seems to be all too common, just waiting for your mission to be handed in, and another connection error. Very common, seemed to be a lot more common actually since beta 2.2, but oh well, there you go, what are you gonna do? Well, hopefully Frontier actually gonna do something about it at some point. So like I was saying, down in 17 Draconis, the system was in a state of civil war, and the lone station there was spawning massacre missions, many of them at a time. In fact, you could sit there at the station and collect up 10 missions, maybe more, all in one go. And if you were allied with that particular station, then these missions were paying up to 18 million in one go. Stack 10 or 20 of them and you're in for a big payday. Now, massacre missions of course are aimed at destroying ships, but there seemed to be something very strange about them, because skimmers would also count as a kill towards completing that mission. It didn't last too long down there, and unfortunately I don't actually have any footage of what went down around there, but if you look around on YouTube you should be able to find some. So massacre missions, particularly those for conflict zones, are very profitable. You don't need to go down to 17 Draconis for that, you can do that just about anywhere. Pick up a few massacre missions and head to the conflict zones and kill those dozens of ships, and you should be able to make yourself quite a bit of money. Now here I am once again at Sothis and Ceos, and the aim here is to increase my Federation rank. I was doing this before the patch 2.2 dropped the Guardians, but got somewhat distracted since then. But it's time to head back here to increase that up. So what I'm aiming for is the rank of Ensign. I probably could have done that a long time ago, but gaining rank isn't something I've ever really been that interested in doing, and I'm not that keen on owning any of the largest ships such as the Cutter or the Corvette. But the two reasons I did want to rank up with the Federation for was one, to get a permit to access Soul on this account, and at my current rank of Warrant Officer, I've already achieved that quite a while ago. But the next rank of Ensign will give me access to the Federation gunship, and I want that just so I've got a reasonable ship that can carry a fighter. I don't really want to fly around in a killback in order to do that. And although I've already got a Type 9, I find them a little bit too bulky when you want to start doing high-speed maneuvers and things like that. So as I've mentioned before in another video, a good way of ranking up is to come out here to Sothis and Ceos and do missions between the two systems. All you need to do is these boom data delivery missions, and you can stack these up pretty fast. The stations out here will spawn a whole load of these in one go, so very easy to do, and you will save yourself a lot of time if all you're interested in doing is ranking up quickly. There are a few people who question the legitimacy of doing it in this way, but I feel that if the stations are spawning all these missions, then it's perfectly valid. And as you can see there, I finally made it to 100% on Warrant Officer, meaning I just need to do my Navy mission now in order to rank up. So I came all the way back here to Neville Horizons in Cash Poos in order to collect that mission. And the mission was to collect some rare artwork here in the Sara system. Upon jumping into the system, I got a mission update telling me where to go, what planet to head towards in order to find these artworks. Now there's also a couple of tip-offs that you saw there. Unfortunately I didn't head on out toward them in order to see what they were about, but usually those are just data retrieval. So finally here at the planet, or the moon rather, 4C, and there's an unidentified signal source over there. But as I get closer, I get another mission update with the mission location activated right nearby. At the start of the video, I mentioned a few hot topics that have been on the cards this week. In fact, the forums and Reddit seem to be full of all different topics lately. One particular point of contention come to light today regarding combat login. Now, combat login is artificially kicking yourself out of the game by using task kill to kill Elite Dangerous when you're in a situation that's not to your liking. This quits you out of the game and removes your ship from the game, putting you into safety effectively, getting you out of harm's way. It's not a legitimate tactic, and it is something that Frontier consider to be an exploit. Now, a group of players, it come to light today, have done an investigation into Frontier to see just what sort of action they take against combat loggers. And I won't go into too much detail in this particular video. I'm going to do another video on it later in the week. And if you want to see all the details, you can check the links in the video description below. But the short of it is that it appeared from the investigation to the investigators that Frontier don't take any action at all against combat loggers. Frontier have since responded, saying that they do indeed take action against combat loggers, but there was a lone exception of these particular cases that were investigated where they failed to do so. It's something that bears a closer looking into, and like I say, I'll do another video on it later in the week. Combat logging then, a very contentious and divisive subject, harmful to PvPers, potentially harmful to PvEers. But given the game's current state, is it something that's understandable? There are a lot of different opinions on that, of course. Fortunately for me though, the rebuy cost of my ASP is only 800,000 credits, and as I've got a pocket full of money, I'm not going to complain about the loss of a ship. But losing a ship can hit some players particularly hard, especially if they've worked a long time to get it and they don't have much money on hand. Now, after failing at that previous rank mission, I had to sit here at the station for a little while to wait for another one to appear. Fortunately, it wasn't too long, and you can see here that this one is another rank progression mission, getting me up to Ensign, and it's effectively a smuggling mission. The previous mission I did in entirely the wrong ship. I should have gone out there in my Vulture, and I was seriously thinking about doing that before I actually even headed out. But I got a bit lazy and thought, well, I've got my ASP here, so I'm going to go in that. But this mission here, the smuggling one, the ASP is the perfect ship for the job. It's got a fantastic jump range, it's pretty fast and is quite manoeuvrable. You can get yourself into these stations very easily. But of course, if you're concerning yourself more with capturing external footage rather than navigating your ship into the slot, you can overshoot things and cause yourself a bit of a problem. And for the briefest moments here, I thought I might find myself stuck under the grill there. But despite that, I got into the station very easily. I didn't even get a scan started, so just landed down here on pad 15, handed the mission in, and I will then be at the rank of Ensign, granting me access to the Federal gunship. Now, I'm not really planning on using the gunship as a combat ship, a PvE gunship that is, because from what I hear, it's not really cut out for that. But then again, if you do have any good combat builds for the gunship, do let me know in the comments section. It's something I'd love to hear about, and I'm sure you guys have some really good tips and tricks. So there we go then, mission about to be handed in, all in a week's work, a week in Elite Dangerous, with the many variety of hot topics that bug the forum and Reddit. What's going to be next? Well, we don't know, it could be anything. I'll be back with some more videos on Elite Dangerous later on in the week. For now, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.